But yeah, the failure of my C drive would mean I need a copy of Windows 10 as well as um, two hard drives, C drive and E drive. I hope that is not an indicator. For the E drive, the indicator was that it would keep spinning, and I couldn't do shit when it would start to. When it starts spinning and keeping my hard drive light on, I couldn't do anything. Little did I realize that that was telling me that my E drive is about to die. Well, I was actually told by the guys, here, order this hard drive now, and I didn't do it. And so because I didn't do it, now I've lost all my data on my E drive. Had I bought the hard drive when the guys told me to buy the hard drive and installed it, I could have transferred all my data from my E drive to the new drive, and I wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. But dumbass me did not listen. So the next time your gut tells you to do something, that's the gods talking to you, and you need to go and do whatever it is because you'll be kicking yourself in the ass later on. I've learned this the hard way right now because always listen to your gut. Your gut will never be wrong. Why is your gut never wrong? Because it's of the gods. That's why. I've never seen an instant where my guts was ever, not one time. Why? Because it's from the gods. Gods are never wrong. Simple as that. So just saying, I'm just throwing that shit out there. So yeah, it's technically my fault because I didn't listen to the gods when they told me to buy a hard drive. Because at the time I just barely had enough money to get the hard drive. And I never received a bill from Time Warner Cable for September, which means I now have September and October on one bill. I'm going to see if I can pay September now and then pay October and deal with October instead. So, quite a bit of money, right? This bill is $258.88. Let's see the bill. Oh, sorry. $258.88. All right, so I'm not bullshitting. $258.88 for the bill. And then each hard drive is about $200 because they're 2 terabyte hard drives. And then a copy of Windows is what, 150, something like that, give or take. So yeah, it's a hunk of change, you know. Now, of course, the trolls, like they are wont to do, would say, "Oh well, Von Helton's eBay." The trolls, I guess, have never been in a state where they needed money right away, and money was going out faster than the money was coming in. No troll has ever been in that position. I call bullshit. Because if you've never been in a position to where if you've never been in a position to where that the money going out is faster than the money coming in, well, then that means you're uber rich and you shouldn't even be on the internet. You should be out whining and dining congressmen, senators, and foreign dignitaries. You shouldn't be on the fucking internet. Okay, so if you're on the internet, that means you are not uber rich, which means you got the money to put money in my PayPal or my Patreon instead of bitching about me going and getting a fucking job. I have a job. It's listed on my Patreon. And if you'll put money in my Patreon, I'll go out and do my job. So quit bitching about me having a job and go put money in my Patreon. It's that simple. All right. You know, it's real easy to get on here and bitch about shit. It's quite a different story to put your money where your mouth is, isn't it? Yeah. But see, that's what trolls and haters do. They just bitch. They don't actually do anything. That's all they got is bitching. They don't have anything else, right? You know, it's clearly stated on my Patreon account what that Patreon account is for. And if I recall correctly, I believe it says on my Patreon account that part of that money is for equipment, right? I believe it does. I believe it does say that. So, there we are. There we are, ladies and germs. So let's stop being a horse's ass and saying, Von Helton needs to get a job and actually support my job if you're that goddamn concerned about it. Well, Von Hilton, I want my money to go for the kids. Fine. There is a space for you to write that in there. There is actually an area for you to write. At least there is on PayPal. I believe there is on Patreon as well. But I know for a fact there is on PayPal. If you want that money to go for kids, because that's what you fucking trolls always whine about, then put in that box the money is to go for the kids. And then I'm duty bound to do exactly that because it's in writing. All right. See, so you have no excuse, trolls. All right. You can sit there and bitch about me all you want, or you can put money in my PayPal and Patreon account and prove that you really do give a shit. But see, the problem is that these trolls that are on here making hate videos, saying shit about me, about my kids, about Andrea, they don't give a shit about me, Andrea, or the kids. They just want to bitch about something, and they want to try and get me in trouble because they hate me. Okay? It ain't about the kids. It ain't about Andrea. It ain't even about me. They just fucking hate my ass. And so they call CIA. They'll call the FBI. They call Obama. They leave messages on the Obama administration's website. They contact the NSA. They contact the AMA. They contact anybody they can fucking think of. Why? To try and get me in trouble. That's why. They don't give a shit about the kids. If they gave a shit about the kids, they'd be putting money in my Patreon account, right? Or my PayPal account. So no, they don't give a shit about the kids. That's a lie. That's a fucking lie. All right. You know, Sean Merriman called CPS out here to steal the kids from me. And what happened as a result of that phone call? As a result of that phone call, the kids ended up in foster care and ended up getting abused. And when I got my kids back, my kids would scream in the middle of the night, all fucking night long. Blood-curdling screams. And there was nothing I could do. There was nothing I could do. Now, after about a week to 2 weeks, they finally stopped doing it. All right. Can you imagine, folks, as a parent, waking up in the middle of the night to blood-curdling screams from your kid, and you go running into their bedroom to see if they're dead? Okay? Sean Merriman, Paul Wayman, Ernie Chrysler, and the rest of these assholes are responsible for that. That blood is on their hands. And it won't wash off. Not in a million fucking years. They got my children abused through foster care because they kept calling CPS out to this house. Now Ernie Chrysler says, well, I never called CPS. No, but you did have Google Hangouts where all your buddies did call CPS. Okay, Ernie? So you're a fucking ringleader, which makes you just as goddamn applicable as them. Anyway, point is that, you know, my children were permanently scarred as a result of these assholes. So I would think the least they could do is show their support by putting some money in my PayPal or my Patreon, right? Oh, they haven't. They're conspicuously absent. I don't see Ernie Chrysler's name in my PayPal or my Patreon. I don't see Sean Merriman's name in my PayPal or my Patreon. I don't see Paul Wayman. Paul Wayman was going to give Andrea $10,000 for each of my 3 children. That's $30,000. He was going to pay $30,000 and literally buy my children. Well, we have a word for that. It's called human trafficking, Paul Wayman, and you need to go to federal prison for the rest of your natural life for it. However, since you seem to have $30,000 cash handy, that would really go a long way to repairing my computers, paying for my internet, and getting these kids some nice shit. How about you do that, Paul Wayman? How about you take that 30 grand that you were going to give Andrea for my children, put it in my PayPal account, and actually put your money where your mouth is and actually help the kids? Oh, you can't do that though, can you, Paul Wayman? No, because you're all fucking talk, you're all bluster, and you're a goddamn stalker, you're a goddamn internet terrorist. Along with your buddy Sean Merriman, along with Ernie Chrysler, and along with all the rest of you bunch. Kenny KPZ, Dr. Descent, and all the rest of you sick fucks. Mr. Dark Zodiac, you know, the hippers, and all the rest of you sick motherfuckers. Okay? You know, now when I see your real names showing up in my PayPal or my Patreon, well, then I can say, hey, you know, these guys really do give a shit about the kids. You know, instead of just calling CPS out to the house every other fucking day or whatever. Okay? So, you know, how about you put your fucking money where your mouth is, Paul Wayman, and take that 30 grand and put it either in my PayPal or my Patreon account, and let's see what I do with the money, because the money will go to the kids if that's what you put on there. If you put on there, I want this 30 grand to go to the kids, it'll go to the kids. Now I'll have to use some of it for repairing my computer and paying for my internet, because without repairing the computer and paying for the internet, I won't be here. Okay, so I have to pay on those things. I don't have an option, because right now the internet is my only source of income, aka Google AdSense, which is what? Oh, it's up to 75 cents now. Yay! A big whopping 75 cents. I've got well, Von Helton, all you're doing is turning this into a mini rant. Well, okay. 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 I'm turning it into a mini rant. So what? So what? So what? So what if I am turning it into a mini rant? I'm sick and tired of fucking hypocrites. I'm sick and tired of fucking hypocrites. You get on here, say you give a shit about my kids, but then you don't put any money in the PayPal or Patreon, and then your justification for not putting any money in the PayPal or Patreon is because you say I'm e-begging. Circular logic at its fucking best, okay? You know, I mean, it is circular logic at its fucking best. Really. You know, what a bunch of shit, man. I mean, really, man. That is such a bunch of shit. Man, oh man. I'll tell you. But yeah, Mr. Wayman, since you have 30 grand and nothing to spend it on, you could put that money into my PayPal or my Patreon, and I could see that a good chunk of it would go to the kids. Guaranteed. Guarantee you that. Hell, 30 grand, you know, I wouldn't probably need to ask for anything, at least for a while. And on top of that, 30 grand would allow me to go out and do my remote reporting, freelance reporting, which is what I need to do. And then I could record all that shit and put it on YouTube and actually do my fucking job, which is a freelance reporter. Wow, what a concept. Kill two birds with one stone. Help the kids and give me my job. Let me do my job. That 30 grand would do it. How about it, Mr. Paul Wayman? Instead of us going to court and you losing everything you own, why not take that 30 grand you promised and actually put it towards the kids?